In the 450 division, third place on the night, riding for Honda HRC, Ken Roczen. And in second, riding for Monster Energy, Niche Factory Yamaha, Justin Barcia. And your winner on the Monster Energy Kawasaki, Eli Tomac. Congratulations, Ken. Early in that main event, you were able to make some moves pretty aggressively and get in the position of third, and then kind of steady from there on out. Was it the track that kind of held you back from being more aggressive and continuing to move forward?
I don't think it is. Anyways, is it? Oh, there you go. Anyways, I found myself after the start, haven't been too happy with my starts actually, have to work on that, but I found myself in fifth or so, and I had to make a couple of passes happen, and then from there on out, I mean, the front two guys, they were going good, so, you know, it obviously not just going to inch a second away every lap, so it's kind of have to find something to do that you can do different, and I just kind of try to hit my marks. You know, track was more technical this weekend by far than I think Houston was difficult, but other than that, today's track was pretty good. I really liked it. I had fun racing too, which that's always a good thing to have, but we had some good rhythms and quite a few jumps out there. So the dirt got really hard. I mean, like Arizona is, but all in all, I think throughout the day, Dirtworks guys did a good job in keeping the track nice and wet, but yeah, it was good out there. Towards the end, we were all kind of closing up a little bit again, but I just didn't have enough speed to really make something happen. I had a couple of close calls after the finish in that sand. It didn't look like a whole lot, but you really got to hit that rut, and kind of threw you off a little bit sometimes. So all in all, though, pretty happy with my third.
Justin, congratulations on second. Started the season off with the 2 podiums, and then last week kind of fell off a little bit. Was this a big night for you to rebound and just get back on track?
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely a good rebound. It kind of shows that I'm, going to be running up in the top 5 and trying to, battle for this championship. Last weekend was tough for me. I just got bad starts and, kind of did damage control for the most part, which was a little frustrating. But I, stayed positive because I rode good last week. But, backed it up this week was great. Ken was coming from the behind for sure, kept the pressure on, and, Eli was obviously riding really good up front. But at the end, we were all pretty close, which was pretty exciting. Definitely made a couple mistakes again, just missed that rhythm section in the middle before the finish line a couple times, which is like a couple tenths, and then Eli would just chip away a little bit. So, but besides that, it was great. Like Ken said, the Dirtworks guys did a great job today. The track was probably the best racetrack of the year so far. I thought just some separators, the whoops, and some rhythms and stuff like that. So all in all, I was happy with how the night went, and I felt like I rode really good. Just need to, work on those few little things.
Eli, congratulations. In the heat race and even in qualifying, seemed like maybe you weren't 100% yourself in the main event once you got out front. Definitely looked more like yourself. Was it just a start, or was it just the night you needed to kind of get into the night to get back on rhythm?
It just took me a while to get the rhythm. We were struggling just putting, whole laps together in practice, and it was actually almost every practice really. The last practice we rolled off the track, and I think in 8th. So there's a little bit of an eye-opener for me, and just wasn't being clean, and kind of took that to the heat race too. But, we kept our heads up, and, never thought we were out of it, and went out to the main, got a good start, and just try to put the laps together. It was a really, really tough, track. It was demanding with those big triples, and we all 3 of us, we were hauling the mail.
So Justin, you said you're want to battle for the championship, and that's 17 rounds. You're only signed for 6.
I'm working on it.
No news?
No news is good news, right? No, I'm definitely, I definitely plan on being with the Monster Energy Niche Yamaha team the rest of the season for sure. Definitely working on it, and it's been good for me though. I think this was the whole 6 race thing was just a great opportunity to show I still had that, that fire from a couple of years ago. It's been a while. So all in all, this has been, I think it's worked in Yamaha's favor and mine. So it's great. I hope to continue the relationship.
Brad Gebhardt, Big MX Radio. This is for cousin for Eli. What changes did you make to the bike throughout the day to make it a whole lot better?
Well, from the start of the day, we ended the night on the same bike. We tinkered a little bit through practice 2 and 3, but never went way off the map, but just tried little stuff and then just kind of went back to home. So that's what we did.
Hi, this question is for Ken. How good does it feel to have Anaheim completely behind you and back to fighting for podiums?
Yeah, that was the plan. I feel like going through Anaheim too. Last weekend, I really just wanted to get the whole day out of the way and over with, and obviously that showed in my result too. But I kind of expected that to come. But now, we were here and we're feeling really comfortable. I love how the team and I work together, and we're all in good spirits, and it's fun. I mean, I think that's the biggest deal for me that always keeps my head up, and it's good. Yeah, last weekend's out of the way, and now we can just look forward to each and every weekend. We had a great race tonight, and yeah, that just makes you look forward to the next weekend already.
Kristen Slack, Motocross Performance Magazine. This question is for all three of you guys. Last week we had a really short track where most of the riders were pretty bunched up together. Where this week with a longer track, more passing opportunities, but then you're running into lap traffic. Which for you guys is more challenging track to race?
So last weekend's track was, in my eyes, horrible, just because it was way too easy. Everybody did the same thing, and then once you pass the mechanics area and you come to that section right there, it was pretty much a go trail, and everybody went from outside to inside and just rolled around. I mean, there was no triple, no double. You just rolled around literally, and then the whoops were pretty much non-existent, which is just a bad idea in general. And I'm really glad they fixed that this weekend. And we actually had some whoops, because in my eyes, the whoops that we had today were safer and better than last weekend, and I hope that they stick to that.
Yeah, I agree. The track last weekend for it made the whole Triple Crown thing not that cool really, because the track wasn't good at all. It was just like, kind of freight train. If you didn't get a start, it was really hard to pass. And for me, I didn't get a start, so it was really hard. But all in all, I think the track this weekend was way better. It was a separator. There was the whoops that, like Ken said, were bigger, and actually they were safer because you couldn't just go wide open into them and send it bonsai. So that was better. And big rhythms are good because, if ever you can do the same thing nonstop, then there's no separator. So I think for sure harder tracks is better to split the top guys up a little.
Yeah, I'm on the same page really. Anything that or if there's a section out there that you can make time on, that's great. It separates the good guys, and last weekend was good for us, but in all reality, I would rather race a track, like this one tonight.
Jorge Ramos, AZ Central Sports. Questions for Eli. What is it about Arizona that makes it so, I guess, fun for you to race here? Because you've had a couple wins here in your career.
I don't know. It's somewhat close to home. It's a 6-hour drive to home, and has a good home vibe. There's just some places where you go where you wake up in the morning, you feel good, and I've always had some success here. So I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of the dirt too. I just I don't know. It's a close one, to Colorado, and yeah.
Jason Wygant, Racer X. All three of you, take me through the rhythm after the whoops. You make a left-hand turn, you had to jump onto a table. Sometimes you could triple off, sometimes you couldn't. Sometimes you couldn't get it every lap. What was the difference lap to lap to be able to do it consistently and then not being able to do it the way you wanted to?
I think, obviously the line before the corner before that jump kind of changed a little bit here or there. For me, I didn't even know anyone. I was like, couldn't believe anyone did that. And I seen it in a video after practice. So I was like, I got to man up in the heat race and hit it. It's not like, it wasn't like it was crazy hard or anything, but it was just like, pretty big. So, I think for me, that's what cost me a lot of time in the whole race, because I missed it, 3 or 4 times, and Eli was nailing it pretty consistent. So
it was just a big line. You had to get far enough onto the tabletop to get the second one. And then even from the second triple to the third one, you wanted to land deep enough to where you weren't, land on the top of the down ramp and then getting bucked because it was kind of a short, steep lip on the third triple. So, it was just tough. You had to do a big seat bounce to get up there, and you had to do it throughout that main was tough.
Yeah, I'm with those guys, but the corner before, like Justin said, it changed, and from that takeoff to the tabletop was a pretty big gap. And the further you could land onto the tabletop, obviously, I feel like the easier that next triple came, just because you could kind of use the suspension, it unloaded, and it kind of just gave you a little bit of a pop. I actually think that the triple off the tabletop was okay. It wasn't that bad. But then the next one, like Eli said, it was a really steep transition, and it kind of bucked you. So I didn't even jump it towards the end anymore. I missed it a few times. Or basically, more my plan was, because it got so difficult that I missed it once, then I just decided to do a short turn on the inside rather than spending all my time setting up for it at the very top and then getting squirrely and not making it. So I decided to just kind of stay low and go double and table over single. Wasn't the fastest maybe, but then I could just basically throw that out of my head and stay aggressive through that section. And I feel like that would kind of help me stay in the flow a bit better.
It's big when no 250s do it either. It's like usually 250s do everything we do, so it's pretty big rhythm.
We don't like to.
I know, I'm sure you wanted to do it, but not enough juice. Not enough pickles. Aaron.
This question's for Justin. I think you're probably a good example of that maybe that guys can come back when people have written them off. Do you think that maybe there's just not enough patience for riders?
Yeah, I think, obviously Kenny, what he came back from, and for me, just struggling for a couple of years, little injuries and just not being comfortable. But I think, I'm 26 now, so it was like, you can go for a while in this career, but for me, I was like, I needed to figure out if I, this is what I actually wanted, or if I wanted to just retire, because I probably, I could have had an all right life retiring, last year, but for me, I just kind of had to take a little break and, clear my head and, think about things. And, I was going to go try to, obviously race on my own because I still wanted to race. But luckily, this opportunity at Yamaha came up, and it just shows, when you get your mental game back in check and you get a strong team behind you and a good new motorcycle, it just like, it was like I was given all the puzzle pieces and just kind of was gluing them together. And, I changed my training a lot. I changed everything, but luckily, mentally, I think going through those tough years, made me a lot tougher of a person and able to get through stuff now. That's, what I thought was hard back then is really not that bad.
Chris, Motocross Addicts. Justin, so last week you had a very public incident with your teammate. How's your relationship?
Yeah, it's okay. He after that finish line was funny. It was like, a double and then a little thing after it. And I was going to try to jump to the inside, and then he tucked to the inside last minute, and I kind of reared ended him a little bit. And he thought I did it on purpose after the race, and kind of was like mad at me and doing some stuff. And I yelled at him. I was like, no, I didn't do it on purpose. But when we got back to the truck, I was like, dude, I don't, if I'm going to hit anyone, I really don't want to hit you. You're my teammate. So maybe back in the day, I would have signed it in there, but, but I honestly kind of smartened up quite a bit. And racing's way more fun when it's, clean, aggressive racing. I've done some stupid stuff. So Kenny, can vouch for that. Not to, so Eli too. Probably everybody. So I'm like rebuilding lots of relationships around the races. But yeah, he's a little mad at me. But I said sorry, and like today I was mad at Marvin. He got in my way and on my fast lap, and I yelled at him, and I kind of yelled at him too much, I thought. So I was like, "Oh, sorry, dude, it was too much." But you were rolling around the track in the main line. He agreed.
All right, thanks, guys.